Here's something most Canadians don't realize. Canada has a very tax-efficient system for dividend income, especially compared to many other developed countries. In some cases, depending on your income, you can earn thousands of dollars in dividends and pay relatively low tax, and inside a TFSA, zero, no tax, ever. Meanwhile, investors in countries like the United States often pay higher taxes on similar income. So in this one area, Canada actually has an advantage. By the end of this video, you'll understand how dividend taxes really work, what's happening with Canadian dividend stocks right now, and how to decide where to hold these investments. Hey, welcome back. On this channel, we focus on real Canadian personal finance. No recycled advice, just the actual rules, the actual accounts, and the actual tax system we live under. Today is a dividend deep dive. We'll cover how dividends are taxed in Canada, what's changing in the market, and how to use your TFSA, RRSP, and taxable account properly. Let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. When a Canadian company earns profit, it pays corporate tax first, then distributes the remaining income to shareholders as dividends. To reduce double taxation, Canada uses something called the dividend tax credit. Here's a simplified example. If you receive $500 in eligible dividends, meaning dividends from large Canadian public companies, the income is grossed up by 38%. So on paper, it becomes $690. Then you receive a federal tax credit of about 15% of that grossed up amount, plus a provincial credit. The result? Eligible dividends are typically taxed more favorably than employment income, often at significantly lower effective rates. For example, someone earning around $60,000 in Ontario might pay roughly $50 to $150 in tax on $1,000 of eligible dividends. If that same income was salary, the tax would usually be much higher. Now, an important note. In certain low-income scenarios, especially in retirement, it is possible to earn relatively high levels of eligible dividend income with little to no tax payable. However, this depends on your province, your total income, and tax rules like the alternative minimum tax. Also, the grossed-up income can affect government benefits like OAS and GIS. So even if your tax bill is low, your benefits may be impacted. Now let's look at the market. Canadian dividend-paying companies have remained attractive, especially during periods of market uncertainty. Many well-established companies continue to increase their dividends over time. For example, Royal Bank of Canada, Brookfield, Metro, and MTY. And then you have long-standing income-focused companies like Enbridge, Fortis, Pembina Pipeline, Canadian Natural Resources, and Hydro One. These businesses often operate in industries with high barriers to entry, which can support stable cash flow and consistent dividends. That said, a quick reminder. Dividend yield alone does not equal safety. A high yield can sometimes indicate financial stress, so it's important to also look at earnings, cash flow, and payout ratios. This is the most practical part. Where you hold your investments can significantly affect your after-tax returns. Let's keep it simple. Canadian dividend-paying stocks are well suited for a TFSA. Inside a TFSA, dividend income is not taxed, withdrawals are tax-free, and there's no annual reporting. Now, in a non-registered account, Canadian dividends are still relatively tax-efficient because of the dividend tax credit. But they are not completely tax-free. Now, here's a common mistake: holding US dividend stocks in a TFSA. The United States applies a 15% withholding tax on dividends paid to Canadian investors, and inside a TFSA, that tax cannot be recovered. Instead, US dividend-paying stocks are generally more tax-efficient inside an RRSP, because under the tax treaty between Canada and the United States, that 15% withholding tax is typically not applied inside an RRSP. So a simple framework is Canadian dividends to TFSA, US dividends to RRSP, and interest income to taxable accounts. Let me ask you, are you currently investing in dividend-paying stocks, or are you more focused on ETFs or growth strategies? Drop your approach in the comments. I'd like to hear it. If this breakdown helped, hit like. It helps more Canadians find content. And subscribe if you're not already here. Next, we'll break down the latest tax changes. This is dividends and dollars. Take care of your money, and I'll see you in the next one.